Thank you, Sabir. I think we are running short of time. Maybe one question, if any short question. Okay, we'll move on to the next talk. Thank you, Sabir.
Okay, thanks.
Next speaker is Madhu Misra.
Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. I am genuinely grateful for having the opportunity to present my work here. The topic I will be talking about is higher derivative action in n is equal to 2 supergravity, which will be based on this work that I did with Bindusar. A little disclaimer, because of time constraint, I have kept the talk very non-technical. So this is an outline of my talk. I'll start with motivation, where I'll talk about what inspired me to study the higher derivative actions in supergravity. Following with the formalism required, results we obtain and its significance, and I will end by mentioning some of the future work. All right, so our starting point and motivation was black holes because of its key property that they have an entropy. In 60s and 70s, Bekenstein and Hawking wrote down this very pioneering formula for the entropy of black holes, which is given as follows. As you notice, this formula has all the universal constants, so it can describe gravity, relativity, quantum mechanics, and statistical physics, which is extremely interesting. Now, the natural question one asks is, could we give Boltzmann interpretation to this entropy? Can we write black hole entropy in terms of microstates of black holes? Well, it turns out for asymptotically flat extremal black holes, we can, and that's what Strominger and Waffa did in 1996. They calculated black hole entropy in string theory by realizing black hole as a brane system. Their result agreed with Bekenstein and Hawking results, and it also provided subleading corrections to the entropy. Note, although the leading term of entropy is universal, the coefficient alpha and beta appearing in the subleading correction will depend on a given theory. However, due to lack of experimental evidence for string theory, one relies on some theoretical tests to verify the mathematical consistency of string theory. And supergravity theory, being the low energy limit of string theory, can provide such consistency checks. And this is where higher derivative terms in supergravity comes into the picture. So higher derivative terms in supergravity can provide us subleading corrections to the black hole entropy, and matching of macroscopic entropy computed in supergravity with the microscopic entropy calculated in string theory can give us the mathematical consistency check for string theory that we were looking for. Other than that, ADS-CFT correspondence also provides strong incentives to study high derivative terms in gauge supergravity theory. Now I would like to lay out some of the terminology that I will be using going forward in this talk. So multiplet is nothing but the set of fields that transform among each other under supersymmetry, while multiplet is a multiplet in superconformal theory that contains gauge fields like gravitini and gravitons. Metamultiplet is a multiplet with high spin less than or equal to 1. For example, chiral multiplet, vector multiplet, or hypermultiplet. They're also known as compensating multiplet, and the reason for it will be clear later on this talk. And density formula in conformal supergravity are superconformally invariant actions given either in terms of an abstract multiplet or in terms of known multiplet such as vector multiplet or chiral multiplet. All right. So now that we are familiar with the important nomenclature, I would talk about very famous formalism, which is used to construct higher derivative action in supergravity theory, the superconformal tensor calculus. Okay. So it is based on gauge equivalence program, where one starts with extra symmetries and finally construct a theory with a lower group of symmetries. And it is useful to construct off-shell Poincare supergravity theory. Okay, so this is the flow chart that describes the gauge equivalence program. I'm really sorry if the texts are not visible clearly, but bear with me. I will try to explain each of them one by one. So first we will discuss till this point. So first, First step is to construct a gauge theory for superconformal theory. And for that, we will assign gauge field to each generator. So these are 7 generators of superconformal theory, and these are corresponding generators, and these are corresponding parameters. Now, to make this theory a theory of gravity, we need to identify local translation with general coordinate transformation. And that will require us to impose some constraints on the curvature. And due to these constraints, some of the gauge fields get dependent. These are the gauge fields that get dependent. And now if you calculate the offshell degrees of freedom of independent gauge fields, they will not match. Thus, we will need to add extra fields to make sure the offshell degrees of freedom matches. And these extra fields, along with the independent gauge fields, will form a while multiplet. And it turns out in 4, 5, and 6 dimensions, there are 2 inequivalent choices for the auxiliary fields, giving rise to 2 inequivalent while multiplets, commonly known as standard while multiplet and dilatant while multiplet. One can work with either of the while multiplets. All right, so now we'll go back to this flow chart. So I've described till this point. Once we choose which while multiplet we work with, we will couple it with appropriate meta multiplet, also known as compensating multiplet, because it compensates for the extra symmetries we have introduced in the theory. Finally, we will embed it into a density formula to construct the invariant action in superconformal theory. Now, if we gauge fix extra symmetries, we will offer Poincare action. All right, so now that we are familiar with superconformal tensor calculus method, I'm going to list down some of the results, already known results. So there are various known density formula in n is equal to 2 supergravity in 4 dimensions. For example, chiral density formula, tensor vector density formula, and another density formula which was constructed using some abstract multiplet. There are 2 types of while multiplet in 4 dimensions. Although the standard while multiplet was known in 4 dimensions since long time, the dilatant while multiplet was constructed in 2017 by Bindusar and his collaborators. And there are various higher derivative action has been constructed in n is equal to 2 supergravity using standard while multiplet. For example, in 1981, these authors constructed Y tensor square action. In 2013, these authors constructed Ricci tensor square, a combination of Ricci tensor square and Ricci scalar square action built out of non-linear spiral multiplet. And in 2015, a Ricci scalar square action was constructed by these authors. Now that I have given, here I have given a field content of standard while multiplet and dilatant while multiplet, where in red I have denoted the independent gauge field, and in blue over here are the auxiliary fields. Unlike previous work, we chose to work with dilatant while multiplet for our construction of higher derivative action in n is equal to 2 supergravity in 4 dimensions. And here are few advantages of using dilatant while multiplet. One of the advantages of using dilatant while multiplet is that only one compensating multiplet is required to go from superconformal theory to super Poincare theory, whereas standard while multiplet needs 2 compensating multiplets. Another advantage of using dilatant while multiplet is that it has inbuilt 2-form field, which is not present in standard while multiplet. And any higher derivative action that would come from the construction, that might come from the compactification of string theory, should have a 2-form field. While the dilatant while multiplet has a 2-form inbuilt in it, the 2-form field in construction involving standard while multiplet must come from some another meta multiplet. Other than that, the reason we chose to work with dilatant while multiplet is the existence of map between Yang-Mills multiplet and dilatant while multiplet in Poincare theory. So in this work, we reported the construction of arbitrary curvature squared action coupled to arbitrary number of vector multiplets using dilatant while multiplet. We found a map between dilatant while multiplet and Yang-Mills multiplet in Poincare theory, and we used this map to construct the Riemann square invariant action. The complete action was encoded in a single holomorphic prepotential G, where this X is a complex scalar of vector multiplet, This B, A, and C are composite fields constructed out of different fields of metamultiplet. Now the prepotential can be expanded as follows, where G is equal to 0, G is equal to, the small g is equal to 0 will describe the minimal part of the Lagrangian, and the small g greater than or equal to 1 will give us the series of interaction terms which are quadratic in curvature with field dependent coupling. Hence, by appropriately choosing the prepotential G, for instance, if we choose G is equal to 1, we will get a purely curvature square terms in the action. And by appropriately tuning this coefficient alpha, beta, and gamma, we can write down an arbitrary curvature square term coupled to arbitrary holomorphic function of vector multiplet. Okay, for the significance of our result, so one can use this result to test the non-renormalization theorem, and we can use this action to investigate the ADS4 black holes and holography principle in n is equal to 2 gauge supergravity constructed out of Dirichlet multiplet. For future work, and these are some ongoing work as well, so we have in this paper we have constructed n is equal to 3 conformal supergravity action. Now in currently we have obtained vector multiplet, and we are trying to couple it with conformal supergravity action to obtain a n is equal to 3 Poincare supergravity action. Other than that, we are also working on this subleading corrections to the entropy of asymptotically flat black holes in n is equal to 4 supergravity theories. And with Amita, we are looking at thermodynamics of near BPS black hole in ADS6. These are some other areas of interest. So I'm interested in double copy construction, fluid gravity correspondence, and supersymmetry anomalies. Thank you. So now I can take questions.
Thank you, Madhu. We can take up 1 or 2 short questions.
All right.
Yeah, Madhu, can I ask something here? Yeah.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
So for alpha, beta, gamma, for all these 3 parameters, you have a supersymmetrized action. Is that correct? Is this
Yes.
you said?
Yes. So these alpha, beta, gamma, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And the alpha, beta, gamma can be different for different values of G, right? I mean, it's just symbol there, right? Or you
Yes. So they are so basically what I mean is, if you put if you want just Riemann tensor square, you can put beta and gamma to 0, and you'll just have this Riemann square action.
But that will come from some particular term, right? Which is G.
Yes.
Right?
So yes. So this Riemann will come from this curly A because there is this alpha coming. So all the terms which are coming with this curly A will give me something which is proportional to Riemann tensor square action.
Oh, you mean all powers of A will all contribute to Riemann, or A square, or A?
So A is equal to 1. So this small g is equal to 1. G is equal to 1 will give me Riemann square. If we take G is equal to 2, this Riemann square will have something multiplied with it, some other curvature term multiplied with it.
So it will be a higher derivative, right? So yeah.
Yes, it will be higher derivative. For example, in our Lagrangian, we have worked till G is equal to 2. So we have terms like Maxwell field multiplied with this curvature square. So it's higher derivative term.
Okay.
More than 4 derivative, I mean.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you.